So you think you were right? Bring it on, prove me wrong. Go put up a fight. The way I do will knock you down. You know that.
Hi guys, so what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new first impressions, kind of slash tutorial, kind of slash review for you guys. I'm so excited for you guys to see this video because there's been a ton of rumbles out on the YouTube sphere, Twitter sphere, internet sphere about this particular palette. Today on my channel for the very first time, I'm going to be trying the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I've heard a lot of different reviews, a lot of different opinions regarding this palette in particular, so I thought I would try it out for myself today and let you guys know what I think of it. And Huda Beauty did send this to me, as well as some lip products and lashes, so I did not pay for this, of course, because it's not even out, you guys. This will release September 18th. For $65. I was, yikes. I wish it was not $65. That's pretty intense. But to be honest, I could kind of justify it to myself throughout this video. I was like, okay. I know it's going to be sold at Huda Beauty's website, of course, and I believe Sephora as well. I'm rambling way too much in this video. Let's just go ahead and get on with it so you guys can see my review slash tutorial of this. Definitely let me know what you guys think of this look and what you think of the palette by the end of the video. I'd love to talk with you in the comments about it. Do you think it's worth $65 or not? Let me know your opinions. I also just quick want to let you guys know I have a giveaway up on my Instagram right now. Head to my Instagram so you can win a whole bunch of Benefit Beauty products. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to win that giveaway. Without further ado, you guys, let's get on with the video. So I'm excited to see how these shadows perform, how they actually apply. I've watched so many review videos on this. I've watched everybody's videos. I watched, of course, Raw Beauty Christie's because she's just like goals. And I also watched the videos where the shadows didn't seem to apply very well for some YouTubers. So I'm excited to see how I work with them. I've heard comparisons to the Subculture palette, which makes me a little nervous because, as you guys know, I did not have the best experience with Subculture. Let's take a look at the palette, shall we? So this is what the packaging looks like this time around. Of course, it is different from the original Rose Gold palette. The Rose Gold palette had a clear top as well as no mirror. I did read an article where Huda Beauty said she was going to add a mirror, which she did. You can see the mirror here. As far as a comparison to the original Rose Gold palette, I didn't have that palette, so I actually ordered it because I saw it was being discontinued, which I'm really sad about because it looks beautiful. Again, I haven't tried it yet, but I went on Sephora's website because every time I've tried to buy it, it's been out of stock. And then just by the grace of God, it was in stock this week. So I just ordered it, and the palette feels particularly sturdy. You know what I mean? It feels like it will really hold up. It feels like it'd be easy to travel with. It does seem like there's some type of a cushion, not a physical, like a literal cushion, but I like when packaging isn't too thin, so if you drop it, you're not like, it might be okay. It seems like a very sturdy palette, and I mean, God, look at this. This is just beautiful. I mean, her eyes, of course, are just mesmerizing. The shadows have been reformulated. She did reformulate the shadows, so again, I don't know what the original shadows were like. I had never tried them before. I am going to film live swatches of this palette directly after filming this tutorial slash first impressions, so if you're unfamiliar with my live swatches, it's where I try each shadow or each lip color, whatever it is, on my eyes, each one on my eyes, so you can really see how it applied all over the lid. I feel like it truly shows you if there's one problematic shadow, if they're all great, if they're all crap. It's just nice to see how it performs by itself without mixing it with a bunch of other shadows, if you know what I'm saying. So definitely stay tuned this week if you want to see my live swatches of this palette. It will be up in the next day or so. Those videos just take a little bit longer for me to edit because I talk about each shade individually. So definitely turn on your notifications, you guys. Hit that little bell down there so that you can know when that video goes up because I don't want you to miss that. I think it's going to be super fun and exciting to see how each shadow performs by itself. Before we get started on the eyes, I do want to talk about the shades real quickly to let you know what kind of variation is in this palette. I am reading an article about this online, and it says that the palette has 8 matte shades in this that were again reformulated to give a butter-like texture. There are also 6 pressed pearl shades, which I guess are the more metallic shades. There are also 3 duochrome shadows, which are really exciting. And then there's 1 pure glitter shadow, which is this shade here, Cosmo. It's literally pure glitter. One thing I do want to say about this pure glitter shade, because I've seen a few people comment this in different places, is that some people feel that if you are to buy a palette, you shouldn't have to use a different medium or any different product to make a certain shadow work. A lot of people are also saying that with Subculture. If you buy the palette, it should just work like that. You shouldn't need to use a glitter glue or a mixing medium or water or makeup setting spray, anything like like that to manipulate the shadow to work, they state you shouldn't have to do that. I respectfully, totally respectfully disagree on this, just because that's just not how glitter works. It needs some type of base, it needs some type of tackiness or stickiness to grab to really stay on. That's just how it is, you know. Glitter is not a powder form, it's not going to blend. Glitter is just different than eyeshadow. They're two different things. So in my opinion, you do have to use a different base for glitter to stick. You can't just put it on your lid and think it's gonna stick. So I just really think that you should never expect a pure glitter to stick to your lid without applying some type of glitter base. With all that being said, I do want to say I love the variation of shadows in here. There's like something for everybody in here. You have your mattes, you can just have a casual, normal, matte, pretty, smoky eye. But if you wanted to mix it up and punch it up with some color, you have that in here. I'm so excited to try this right now. So let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm sorry for rambling. I just had a lot to say. So straight away, I'm going to prime my lids with the Benefit Stay Don't Stray Eye Primer, which tends to be my favorite, as I've told you guys many times. It also doubles as a concealer, which I think is fascinating. You can even use it as a primer for your concealer, which I really have never done just because I crease easily. I don't want to layer too much under my eyes and stuff. First off, I'm going to jump into the shade Desert Sand. This is my Sigma Beauty E50 large fluff brush. I heard there was some kickback in this palette, and then I heard other people say they didn't have a hard time with it. So I'm going to kind of try to observe that while doing this. And I'm just going to pack this on my lid to kind of lock in my eyeshadow base and create a nice blending platform for us. It's so funny. I was reading comments on my subculture video and somebody wrote something like, was anyone worried for this palette's life because of how aggressive SHAE is with her shadows? And I was just dying because I know, you guys, I know. I get that comment all the time, like, why are you beating into your shadows? And you're right. I don't know why I am so aggressive. From here, I'm going to jump into the shade Amethyst. Again, trying to go lightly, not overly lightly. I'm just trying not to beat it like a drum like I normally do. And honestly, there was no kickback there, so that was pretty good. And this is my E25 blending brush from Sigma. I'm going to start placing this in my crease and diffusing it out. That's a pretty shade. I'm kind of doing like a packing motion and then blending across as I go. So far, so good. It's kind of blending out really nicely for me. I'm sure it has to do with me laying down that Desert Sand shade first. It's really easy to blend on top of that. I am loving this Amethyst shade. I think this is beautiful. Still just kind of blending that into my crease. So far, so good with that Amethyst shade. I don't have any streakiness. There was hardly actually any fallout you can see under my face. Next, with my Sigma E38 crease brush, I'm going to jump into the shade Eden. Again, I'm pressing pretty firmly, but I'm just not going super crazy like I normally do. And you guys know I'm like the queen of creating kickback, like I really am. So if I can do it without kickback, I think you guys can too. And I'm gonna start working this on the inner, like half of my crease point, and then carry it on top of that purple or amethyst and just kind of fuse those shades together. In the Refinery 29 article I was reading, she did say she created these shadows so that they can be layered together to create other colors, and I think that's nice. I was watching Step Brothers last night, and I have Brendan has a mangina stuck in my head. Next, with the Sigma Beauty Airbrush Blender F63 brush, I'm going to jump into the shade here, which is called Ode, or Odd, or Oud. And I'm going to start working this into my crease again, just below those two shades we already laid down. Again, I'm kind of packing it on instead of sweeping and just blending straight away. It's kind of the technique I've been liking to do lately. I think that's such a pretty shade. Going back in with my E25 that has a bit of that purple shade left on it, I just want to run that over the top of everything to kind of marry and fuse those shades together. Ooh, I love how this amethyst looks popping out, like behind that Ode shade. They are marrying together so beautifully. Ooh, I like it. Mama like it. I'm going to jump back into Desert Sand for a minute. This is my Sigma Beauty E55 shader brush, and I want to pounce that under my highlight or on my highlight to kind of smooth everything over there. Next, I want to take a bit of concealer. This is the NYX Dark Circle Corrector in the shade Fair. And I want to use this to make a cut crease, so I'm taking my cut crease E62 brush from Sigma. And just like I said, I want to make a cut crease, so I'm going to pop this onto the lid right underneath our crease. And then from there, with a bit of a damp brush, I'm going to jump into the shade Twilight. This is my E68 cream color brush from Sigma. I'm going to start pressing that onto the concealer. With that same damp brush, I'm just flipping it to the other side. I'm going to jump into the shade Royal and pop that on the outer half that is kind of left out there with still concealer showing. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? From there, I'm going to take this teensy-weensy little detail brush. This is the EO6 liner brush from Sigma Beauty, and I'm going to go back into this Ode shade. God, I don't know how to say anything. And just to help define our cut crease a bit more, I'm going to run this on the edge of that Twilight shade. Ooh, I love this palette. I love this palette. I love this palette. Shake your titties. I love the palette. I'm taking my favorite little blending E36 brush. I love him for moments like this when you need just the tiniest little blending brush to get in there and blend something out. So I'm blending out that line that I kind of laid down to sharpen up that cut crease. I just want to blendy blendy. I have no additional shadow on my brush. I'm just working with what's on the lid. I of course want to wing this little bad boy. So I'm going to take my AQUA XL paint from Makeup Forever. This is in the shade M10. It's a matte black and I just love it. I love it, I love it. So I just finished my eyeliner. I want to say so far, I freaking love this palette. I know I've already said it, but I love it. And I haven't swiped away under my eyes or anything. There's a small amount of fallout, but there really isn't too much. I'm pretty satisfied with everything. I really did not have one problem. I did not struggle with anything. There's no patchiness in the shadows. They went on so beautifully. So far, I am like super duper impressed. So before I share my final thoughts and before we finish up the look, because I'm not quite done with it yet, I just want to pop on my foundation and everything so we can move straight into the eyes. So I have my foundation and a little bit of bronzer on. I'm going to go ahead and tightline my eyes. I already started to tightline the upper part of my lash line, so now I'm going to do the waterline. Why am I being so literal with my gestures? I don't know. So this is the Prestige Cosmetics Total Intensity Eyeliner in the shade Powerful Purple. It's been a go-to for me for like the past 2 weeks. I love this color. It's just like a deep, deep, deep plum or purple. And it's just gorgeous because I feel like when you look at it, you can't really see that it's purple. I don't know, maybe you can. It's like an off black purple. I just like it. I know you're not to tug on the lid, but I'm gonna do it just a bit. And then on top of that, I'm gonna take a little bit of Amethyst again. This is my E34 brush from Sigma, and I'm gonna run that through the front part, right on top of that liner. And then I'm going to finish it out with Ode, I don't know. I need to edumacate myself. And finish that off on the end of the lash line. I love these eyes. Now, just in my inner corner to kind of make this look pop a little bit more, I'm going to take Cashmere with a bit of a damp brush. Damp. I know sometimes it sounds like I'm saying damn because I speak so quick. People are like, did you say a damn brush? Like, no, a damp brush. And let's just pop that right in here. To finish this look off, I'm going to throw on some false lashes. I've never used these before. They are also from Huda Beauty, and she did send these to me as well as the eyeshadow palette. These are in the style Samantha 7, and they look beautiful, so fluttery. I'm also going to use the Huda Beauty Lash Glue with this. She sent me this as well. I've never tried this. So really quickly, I want to finish off the face. I'm going to apply some blush. I think I'm going to take Dandelion by Benefit Cosmetics. This is in their little Cheek Parade palette. And this is my Sigma Large Powder F30 brush, but it's the travel-sized version. I love this for blush or bronzer or anything like that. It's so cute and does a good job. But anyway, pop this on the cheeks. I didn't want anything too harsh or colorful to distract from the eyes. And then for highlighter, I'm going to take this new one by Becca Cosmetics. This is in the shade Lilac Geode. So pretty. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's like lilac, but there's also a hint of gold in there. Quite pretty. So I'm going to take that with my Sigma F42 fan brush. I'm going to pop this on top of the cheekbones. And then also right above my brow here, I've been liking to add a little bit of shine here. And then also on the tip of my nose, which some people have said they don't like when I do this, but I like it. I think it's cute. And then down the nose as well. All right, last few steps before we go back into talking about the palette itself. I'm going to spray my makeup with the Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Setting Spray or Primer Spray, something, by Too Faced Cosmetics. Don't you love how your highlight looks after you apply your setting spray? It's like, yes, pop, bitch, pop. On top of the lips, I'm going to take this Huda Beauty product again. This is in the shade Trophy Wife. Again, this was sent to me by Huda Beauty, and this is a matte liquid lipstick. Alright, so this is my finished look, you guys, and I just have to say I freaking love it. This is one of my most favorite looks I've done in a long, long time. I would wear this 1,000 times again. I think it's gorgeous, especially going into these fall and winter months. We can really get away with looks like this. And again, like I always say, of course you can wear any makeup any time of the year that you want. It's your decision and it's just freaking makeup. But if you are someone who likes to kind of follow the seasons and wear seasonally appropriate makeup, I think this is the perfect time for looks like these to start coming out. So I love this, you guys. I think it's beautiful. The shadows blended so well. I did not have any problems. And I just have to say that I personally feel like a lot of other YouTubers and makeup artists out there are better than me. They are. And I'm not saying that for sympathy or anything like that. I just think that they're really great. And sometimes I don't think I'm the best, but I still try. And I love it. I love makeup and I love doing reviews and I love hanging out with you guys. So that's why I continue to do it. But I don't necessarily think I'm better than anybody at all. I don't even think I measure up to most people, to be honest with you. But I only say that because I didn't have any problems with this palette. So if I didn't have any problems, you guys should be totally fine. I really do mean that. Again, I'm not perfect. I mess up a lot with my makeup and I get lazy and sloppy with it just as much as anyone else. So I feel like if I was able to perfect this look and have literally no troubles at all, you guys shouldn't have any issues either. I just had no struggles at all. I want to just really ensure that to you guys. I know a lot of people were nervous about this palette, but I really think that, I mean, I did it fine. You guys should be just fine. You're just as good, if not better than me at your makeup. I see your guys' photos that you tagged me in. You're all so fantastic. I don't see anyone having a problem with this palette. And that's not to discredit anyone who did have an issue with it. I understand because I had a problem with Subculture and then a ton of people told me I was a dumbass for having a problem with Subculture. So that makes me want to retry Subculture because maybe I did use it wrong. I'm not the end all be all of anything, you know? Maybe I did use it wrong. So that's just kind of how I also feel about this palette. Though I had a way harder time with Subculture than I did with this palette, some people were comparing them and saying that they did the same streakiness, patchiness upon blending and applying the shadows. But hey, I didn't have that problem. I don't really think you guys will either. It was a pretty easy look for me to do. I didn't have to work on it for a super long time. Everything kind of really blended together beautifully. I loved how the more lavender, it's called amethyst, but the more purpley shade, I love how we laid that down first and then tied the brown shade into it and they just melted together. They truly melted beautifully. I just didn't have any problems at all. And as far as fallout, I also don't think I struggled that much at all. And again, like I kind of said before, you guys know I'm like the queen of beating my palettes to death. I'm super heavy-handed. I'm super aggressive. So I did try to hold that back in this video. I tried to not, because I don't need to do that. You guys are right. I need to stop doing that. So I've been trying to be less heavy-handed and honestly just using a gentle tapping motion, not really swirling in there, but just gently dipping my brush into each shadow. I have hardly any fallout. I didn't blow on this or anything. It's just been sitting on my desk and this is what it looks like. So I had hardly any fallout, hardly any kickback. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, because I would almost compare this palette to something like a Natasha Denona palette, but without the Natasha Denona price tag, which is pretty great. And again, I love the Natasha Denona palettes. I buy them all. I would consider this like a high-end palette. It's $65. That's super duper expensive, but I can kind of see why it's $65 and not like $20 like a Morphe palette or something like that. I see why it has the heavier price tag. Does it need to be that expensive? Probably not, but we're not in the whole makeup biz. I don't know. I don't know this for a fact, but I also feel like the higher price tag could be because of like maybe the glitter grade. I don't know the quality or the grade of this glitter in here. A lot of those do get more expensive the nicer that they are. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I do really like this palette, you guys. That's really all I have to say about it. I'm still super duper interested to see how it performs in my live swatching video. So again, I want to remind you guys, please turn on your notifications. It's the little bell right down there, and subscribe if you haven't already so you can see my next video where I will be trying on each shade individually on my eyeball so we can see what it looks like by itself and how it applies by itself and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm actually going to take this all off, which is really sad because I love this makeup, and I'm going to film that video next. So that should definitely be up this week within the next 2 days. So keep an eye out for that, you guys. Also head to my Instagram where I have a huge giveaway going on of Benefit Cosmetics products. I got a PR package in the mail and I wanted to just pass it on to you guys because I thought a lot of you could use it with going back to school, maybe going back to work now that the kids are in school. You might need some new stuff and you just spent all your money on supplies and things like that. So I'd love to share it with you. It's a ton of products. So head there. It's ThatGirlShaeXo, just like my channel, and definitely check me out on Snapchat, Twitter, and again, Instagram if you want to win some cool prizes. Thank you guys again for watching this tutorial slash first impression slash review. I love you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!